Hello CraftDee Family, and welcome to another tutorial by She's So Crafty. For today's DIY projects, we will be creating a multifunctional project that can be used in any space in your home. Now this can be used as a message center, a mail storage sorter, a craft room organization, or even everyday decor like I have displayed here. Now these pieces use inexpensive wood for $2, and it includes lots of items from the Dollar Tree to complete the look. Now as always, all of the supplies needed to complete this project are listed in the description box below. Now before we start, I have to say hey to all of my subscribers, and if you are a new visitor to my channel today, I hope you consider subscribing as well and stick around to enjoy these crafts and all the tips that I will share with you along the way. So now let's just jump right into the project. Now for this project, you're going to need one 1x2 piece of wood, and these come in 8-foot lengths from the Home Depot and Lowe's for about $1.98. We're going to need 4 paint stir sticks from this 10-pack that you can get from Home Depot. We're going to need 3 drawer boxes from the Dollar Tree. We're going to need some peel and stick hooks from the Dollar Tree. We're going to use some of this chicken wire from the Dollar Tree. We're also going to need 2 of these gift boxes from the Dollar Tree. Now these are from the fall, but they do have these in a birthday and many holiday designs throughout the year. And we're going to need 8 tumbling tower blocks. Now we're going to start by getting our wood cut, and we're going to need 2 pieces cut at 20 inches. We're going to need 3 pieces cut at 18 inches, and we're going to cut 4 of those paint stir sticks at 9 inches. Now I'm going to go ahead and protect my work surface because I will be staining my wood pieces, and today I'm just going to gather up all of my wood, and I'm going to be using some early American stain today. You guys know I love my Jacobian, it's hanging out there, but we're going to use early American for a lighter color finish. Now when I stain all my pieces, I'm just going to be staining the entire piece, starting with the 20-inch pieces. I want to stain the front, back, sides, and the ends, applying a nice even coat of that stain all over it. So here is one piece completely stained, and complete this for your other 20-inch piece. And now I'll start on the 18-inch pieces, and we're going to be staining these the same way, but we're not going to stain the ends. And then we can move on to our paint stir sticks. Now for this, you're only going to need to stain the side without the numbers, and we're going to stain the ends and sides as well. Now once everything is all nice and stained, what I like to do is follow up with a paper towel to remove all of the excess stain, and this helps the pieces dry a little quicker. So we're going to scoot those to the side, and then we're going to go ahead and grab our wood boxes from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to remove the inserts from the wood box, and then I'm going to start by staining the inside of the boxes first, and then staining the entire outside. Now I'm loving how this stain looks on here. It goes on really even. It's a really beautiful color. Now we're going to stain all of the boxes the same way. Here they all are, and now just wipe them all down with that paper towel. And now that those are done, we are going to grab our tumbling tower blocks. Now we're going to need 8 of these, so I'm just going to go ahead and add stain to all of the sides and ends of these pieces and allow everything to sit out to dry for a few hours. Now while that dries, go ahead and grab those 2 gift boxes. Now the first thing I want to do is go ahead and remove that hang string. We won't be needing that for the project, so we could just remove those and save those for another project. But I did want a scoop front on the front of the box, so I'm taking a piece of scrap craft paper and I'm kind of molding it to the top edge of that box to get the shape, and then I'm going to cut that shape out with a pair of scissors. Now once you get that shape, go ahead and fold that piece in half so you have a center point. Now I wanted my scoop to go down approximately 2 inches, so I'm going to mark 2 inches on the front of the box. And then I'm going to take that folded in half piece of craft paper and then marking the 2-inch mark on the folded side. Now I'm just going to kind of eyeball and draw a curve from that center mark all the way up to the corner to kind of make half of a scoop. And then starting at the fold, just cut on that line, and when you unfold it, you see you have an even scoop on both sides because you cut it on the fold. So just lay that at the top of your box and trace that scoop onto your box, and this will be the line that you cut out. Now we're just going to trace this onto our second box as well, and now both of our boxes are ready for the cutting. Now to cut, I'm just using a very sharp utility blade with a fresh blade, and then I'm just going to drag it along that line first, and then my second pass should cut straight through it, and now we have a nice scoop on the front of the box. Repeat that for the other one, and here are my two boxes. Now if you have any jagged edge, just follow up with a little bit of sandpaper to smooth everything all nice and neat. Now we're going to flip those over to the back, and we want to add our hooks. So I have these peel and stick hooks from the Dollar Tree. I like to put these on the back, and they'll be able to hang on our rag. Now you notice I'm putting them upside down. This way they'll hook onto those paint sticks when we add them to the project. So I like to peel off the stick portion and add just a little bit of hot glue just as a backup on that top portion, and press that up into the corners of the back of each one of the boxes. You do want to press them firmly and make sure that glue is nice and dry, and you want to do this for both of your boxes as shown here, and now you have hooks on the back. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it out and give it a couple of coats of my Zinsert 123 so I can cover up that pattern and design on the inside and out. And my final coat, you can use chalk or acrylic paint, but I'm choosing to go with some spray paint for a quick and easy finish in a white satin. Okay, while those dry, let's go ahead and grab our wood pieces. They should be nice and dry now. So what I'm going to do is I am going to lay my pieces out with my wood pieces and my paint stir sticks. Now the 20-inch pieces are the top and bottom of your frame, and the 3 18-inch pieces will be the center of the frame. Now to determine your spacing is really easy. In that first section, the width of the spacing is the exact width of one of those paint stir sticks, which is 9 inches. So once you get that set, that is really the only measurement you need to make. The other piece at the end will just line up with the end of that 20-inch stick. Now to temporarily bond it in place, I am using my wood hot glue. You could definitely use wood glue if you want to. Just keep in mind it does take a little longer to dry, and I'm just going to adhere these in place along that edge of the 20-inch stick at the top. Now once that glue dries, you could flip over the entire piece, and then we're going to add that other 20-inch piece at the other end just by adding a line of that wood hot glue there and pressing it firmly in place. So now you just want to allow that glue to completely dry, and now we could go ahead and start adding our screws. So we are going to drill pilot holes into the side, and we're going to be using a 7/64 inch drill bit, and I'm going to drill into the side of each one of those wood pieces so we could connect the centers. And here are all of our pilot holes all nice and drilled. Now we need to determine what kind of screw we're going to use. I decided to go with a 2 or 2.5 inch wood screw. Both of those will work, and I'm using a number 8 size. So I'm just starting off by just hand threading it in and then drilling it into place until it's nice and flush with the wood all the way around. Now these brass tipped wood screws do blend in very well, so there's no need to add any other paint or color to them, and I'm okay with that. So now we're going to take our paint stir sticks and we're going to bond together the side we didn't stain, which is the side with all the numbers and measurements, because we want these to be a double thickness. And once that's done, we're going to be placing those on the shorter opening, but we're not going to place them until our boxes are dry because we want to make sure we get the precise placement. But we're going to work with the wider section of the frame, and this is where we'll be adding our chicken wire. So we just want to carefully remove it from the package, and we are going to cut a piece wide enough to cover up that opening of that wide section. Now the width of this chicken wire is perfect for this opening. There were no side adjustments. We just had to cut the length, and it worked out perfect. Now once we have that piece, we're just going to straighten it out and flatten it out, and we are going to start to attach it to the frame. And I'm doing this with my staple gun, starting at the top first, and then once we get the top all stapled down, I'm going to add some staples down this outer side of the frame as well, and add some staples there just to make sure we have some stability there and make sure everything is nice and taut. Now we're also going to add staples along the bottom, but we're not going to add staples down the center just yet. We won't do that until we add our paint stir sticks at the very end, as I show here. So now what we're going to do is grab our tumbling tower blocks. Now we're going to double these up, so I'm going to glue one on top of the other. Now the purpose of these is to give it a little bump out from the wall so that chicken wire and those paint stir sticks will have a little gap, and we'll be able to hook our boxes on and also be able to pin and add messages to our chicken wire without any interference from the wall. So I'm trimming back that chicken wire just a little bit so I can start adding those double stacked tumbling tower blocks in the corner of our wall piece. Now we're going to do this on each corner on the back of our frame, so it'll be nice and even all the way around, and here they are all attached in place and ready to go. Okay, so I'm flipping it over to the right side, and I'm going to start getting my measurements for my boxes now that they're nice and dry. So I'm going to go ahead and take my paint stir sticks, and I'm kind of just estimating where I want to place it. So I'm hooking it to the back of each box, and I'm just going to space them evenly as the way I would love to see them on my rack. And what I ended up going with was 3 inches down in the opening and 12 inches down from the opening to place all my stir sticks. And I just made a little pencil mark on the inside of the rack. So now that I've made that mark, I'm going to flip it over to the back side, and I'm going to transfer those markings over to the back, because this back side is where you want to glue those paint stir sticks. So I'm just using my Dollar Tree cutting mat as a little ruler just to make sure everything stays nice and even, and I want to make a mark on both sides. And now we could take our paint stir sticks, and we're going to take our wood hot glue, or you can use wood glue, and glue this into place. Now I'm double checking the measurements to make sure it's nice and even, and I want to do the same thing for the other paint stir stick, and make sure you staple these in place afterwards. And then once those are all stapled in place, we could go ahead and secure the remainder center part of that chicken wire so it's secured all the way around. Now I notice some of the edges of the chicken wire can be sticking out, and you can be scratched or cut. So to avoid that, I wanted to cover it, and I'm just using some of this thick craft paper that I had on hand, and I'm just going to hot glue this all along the raw top and bottom edges. And you can see not only does it cover up the raw edges and prevent injury, but it does give it a nice, neat, and clean finished appearance. So there's everything all nice and covered on the top and bottom on the back of your shelf piece. So now what we're going to do is go ahead and grab our boxes. Now I wanted to give them kind of a fun rustic finish, so I'm going to protect my work surface, and I'm going to grab some paints. Now the paints that I'm going to be using today are silver, some barn red, and some elephant gray acrylic paint to get this look. Now I'm going to start off with the elephant gray, and I'm just going to start dabbing that elephant gray all along all of the edges. I'm doing this really randomly. I'm just dabbing and dragging my paintbrush just to get a nice worn random look. Now once that elephant gray is applied, I am following up right behind it with a little bit of some silver. Now this will give it that undertone of like a galvanized metal, a little bit of shininess. Now the solid gray gives it a foundation, but the silver just gives it that little touch of a galvanized look that I really love. Now once that area dries on both of those colors, I'm mixing a little bit of black into my barn red just to get a really deep rust color. The regular barn red was just a little too bright, so I'm darkening it up with a little black, and I'm dipping the end of a craft stick in it, and I'm dragging that barn red color all along the edges. Everywhere that I have some of that galvanized metal look, I'm dragging that barn red around just to look like it really has a deep red rust color. And then I'm following up with my paintbrush, and I'm dabbing on with a very dry paintbrush. I'm dabbing on that barn red mix, and it gives it that nice faded rustic look. I'm just loving just experimenting with these things. I'm loving how it looks. It really does look like rusted metal. And once that's done, let that sit to completely dry. And now we can go ahead and start working on our boxes. So our boxes are nice and dry from the stain. And what we want to do is we are going to be joining the 3 boxes together. And these are the outer boxes. Now before we join them together on the 2 end boxes, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill 2 holes side by side, big enough for a zip tie to go through. Now this will enable you to attach and detach this from your message board rack. So this is why I'm drilling the 2 holes at the end. And now we can go ahead and adhere them together. Again, I'm using my wood hot glue, but you could definitely use wood glue if you like. And I'm just going to adhere them all together. Now when you drill your holes in these, you do want to make sure the holes are on the back of the box and not the opening. You want to make sure they're on the back of the box. And now we can grab our zip ties, and of course these zip ties are available at the Dollar Tree in a 60 pack for only $1.25. So I'm going to start by threading one of the zip ties through the back, and then back and loop it around back out the other hole. Now this way you have 2 pieces sticking out the back, and this will enable you to attach it to the chicken wire of the message board. And just repeat this for the other side. Now once you have both pieces in there, this is what it looks like. So let's go ahead and set that to the side for now. And now we're going to work on the drawer inserts of all the boxes. Now we're going to flip those over opposite side of wherever opening and cutout that you have in there. And what we're going to do is add some label kind of pulls. Now I'm going to be using these little metal label pulls I got from Amazon, and I'll be sure to link those in the description box below. And these come with little screws. So we want to make sure we apply them on the side opposite of the decorative cutout opening. And what I like to do first before I screw them in place is I like to add some hot glue to it just to make sure it stays in place while I'm working with the screws. They do have a tendency to shift around while you're working, so that hot glue really does help keep them in place. And just use your drill or screwdriver to drill these in. These are really small screws and they take a little effort to get in there, but here are all of those little labels attached with the screws. Now, if you want to cover up that back opening, you definitely can. You could have stained some of these large craft sticks, cut them to size, and then covered up that in the inside. Definitely an option if you would like to cover those up as well. Okay, so now let's grab our message rack, and now we're just going to quickly apply a hanger to the back. Now I'm just using some nautical rope at Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to staple one end 3 times, and then I'm going to staple the other end 3 times. Now we have a little slack in the middle, and this is where we are going to staple it again 3 times. Now what this will form is 2 sides where you can apply a hanger, so it'll keep it from teeter-tottering on your wall. Now once that's all nice and secure, we can go ahead and flip that over, and now we can start to add our little boxes and our drawers. Now we're going to be placing these at the bottom of the chicken wire side of the opening, and it's going to sit right on the edge of that frame, so you can see it has a little resting place. But we're just going to work those zip ties through the chicken wire. And once we work them through, all we have to do is to connect the ends and zip tie them in place, and this will stay secure to your message board as long as you need them to be. And once they're tightly secure, just go ahead and snip off those little tails. And there we go, we have that all in place, and now you could just slide your drawers into the little holder. And now your boxes should be nice and dry, and all we have to do is add those to the little paint stir stick holders that you put in the side. Those back hooks should hook right over the top of those, and now you have a completed rack. You have your 2 holders, your 3 drawers, and your chicken wire for messages. This is so useful and functional, and I think that this is something that will be useful or even for a gift. Now here is my piece all decorated, and I love how it turned out. Now I chose to use a decorated option in a farmhouse theme, and I added some of my favorite items to accent this piece. Now I love the beautiful color of the wood paired with these fun farm trinkets, and it looks so pretty and bright in my space. I think the drawers are a really nice touch too, and they can be labeled if you like. Now these boxes turned out great and can hold all kinds of items. And of course, for your smaller items, they can be stashed in the drawers. I did add a few clothespins to the chicken wire to add more decor or adding hanging messages too. Now I hope you all love this as much as I do and give it a try. Now another great thing about this piece is that the containers are completely detachable and can be used as standalone planters or item holders. Now I really do love the rustic finish on these, and it looks so realistic. Now these are ready to accessorize with all of your favorite decor, your mail, or even craft items. And don't forget, you can detach the drawers as well. Now I think that these are so adorable and can be used in so many fun ways. Now you guys, I had so much fun creating this project today, and I do hope you love the ideas that I have shared with you. Just let me know, how would you use this piece in your space? Listen, if you love DIYs on a budget, please give this video a thumbs up and share this video with your friends. Make sure that you're following She's So Crafty EE on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest for the latest news, sneak peeks, and giveaways. If you like videos like these and you don't want to miss the next one, make sure you're subscribed by clicking that subscribe button below, or just click on my She's So Crafty logo on your screen and make sure you hit that bell to be notified when the next DIY goes live. It's absolutely free. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.